Well, thanks everyone, and it's a real pleasure and an honor for the International Cartographic Association to be here. We actually have 4 members of our executive committee here at AutoCarto 2022. Thomas Schultz just arrived in the wee hours of the morning. He's our Secretary General, and you're going to hear from him shortly. We have Lee Q and Terrier, who are vice presidents of our association, and so I'm really pleased that they are here and have been participating in the events and will participate in the event. The ICA is definitely pleased to endorse this event. We see this as a really important event, as Jack indicated and as Clint indicated, and as obviously through the history that Aileen provided to us. The strength of the ICA really falls into 3 categories for us. It's really about the people. We have lots of commissions and working groups. We have conferences that we put on, and you can see that AutoCarto is listed here. And there's a whole series of publications, and we're actually following the lead of some of the other national journals like CAGIS, and CAGIS is really an international journal, as well as the British Cartographic Society's publications and those of Canada. 2 recent publications, and we actually had a meeting on this yesterday on the children's cartography. So that's a hallmark for the ICA, where we have a competition among children around the world, and they submit maps based on a certain theme. And I think it's a good look into the minds and hearts of children and what's important to them. And so I would encourage you, if you ever have a chance to see one of these publications, to take advantage of it. Another recent publication that I'm really proud of, and I think it is just beginning in its purpose, and that's the Mapping for a Sustainable World. The ICA collaborated with the United Nations, and together with some of your members, Rob Roth and his team at Wisconsin, and Menoyan Kroc, and who actually served as one of the chief editors of the book. And here it is. This is the book. It's available online, so it's freely available, and the data behind it are all there, and the print files are all there. What's important about this book is that there's been an effort in the United Nations for the Sustainable Development Goals beginning in 2015 through 2030. So we're about halfway there. We have a long way to go. And so we're hoping that cartography can be one method by which people can see the value in the data. And so this is, I think, a really important contribution to making that possible. And I see this as being the beginning of a lot of activity. I wanted just to tease you with some ideas and thoughts just to think about as you go over these next 3 days. Clint indicated the data revolution that we're in, and it's clear that there's more and more data and there's more and more data types. We also have access to technology that we continue to be surprised at, and it just makes our lives easier and easier. The computing power, and as Clint indicated, I come from the Census Bureau, and I can remember buildings bigger than this that housed hardware to process data that you could do less with than you can do on your iPhone today. And then, of course, we have increasing expectations and dependence on location information. It's in the background, but we all expect it to be there. And so I think we have to think about the impacts, some of those impacts to consider as we go forward. But the key to all this is actionable cartography, actionable GI science. Yesterday, we heard in one of the sessions about actionable data. So there's a direct linkage. Actionable data, actionable cartography, actionable GI science. We're faced with so many different challenges, beginning with climate change. If we're not all worried about climate change, we better wake up. If we are not worried about political uncertainty, we should be concerned about that. And these are ways that we can address some of those topics. Actionable work that we do. And this is just a graphic to show the value of some of these different components. And at the end of the day, mapping helps make it more simple, more easily understood, sends a message. It's about communicating. That's what cartography is about. It's about communication and how well we can do that. This is a diagram put together by the United Nations centered around sustainable development goals, but really it's the challenge of national mapping and national geospatial organizations. This is what they're facing. And there's one column of information, geodetic positioning, elevation, topography, and so forth. That's been their domain. That was their exclusive domain and their only responsibility. Those days are done. They're past us. They need to step up and accept all of these other data types and be able to react to them and to align with them. So through the United Nations and the ICA, we're working with national mapping organizations to make the case for this. And we're making good progress. But I think that you should just be aware of that. Now, information, even the most basic information sometimes is complicated, but that's what we are good at. We're good at making it more simplified, more easily understood. We do the things that are necessary and working with some complex data to make it understandable, to make it information instead of just data, understandable information. That's what we do. We're really good at this. And so we're needed. And I would suggest that you continue the good work that you're doing. In that light, following on the messages that we heard from both Jack and Clint about ethics and cartography, the ICA, as an international society, we took it upon ourselves to be a responsible society as an international body to take on the role of trying to coordinate and have a place, a common place where what we work on in regard to ethics is it has a common place, has a common location. So the ICA created a working group just in the last few months, led by the United States under the direction of Aileen Buckley. And so that group will continue through and will likely be proposed as a commission next August at our General Assembly. And at that point, we'll continue the good work. So we're hoping that those of you who are interested in this topic, you'll be able to contribute to that information. So general thoughts on next steps. How do we as cartographers and GI scientists pivot to respond to the call for actionable cartography and actionable GI science? I am really challenging you on this. Think about everything that you're doing. Is it actionable? Is it helpful? Is it making a difference? That's what we need to be thinking about. And is there an alignment? There has to be an alignment between the ICA's research agenda, which is a continually evolving effort on our part and not an easy one, so that we can contribute to solving real world problems. And I think the knowledge base within our organization, obviously within CAGIS, how is this being transferred to others, this valuable resource, this valuable information? So that's where we are, and I think that we should talk about that over the next few days. So we're mapping professionals and we have much to contribute, and we need to show how much we can make a difference for our communities and our world. That's the challenge for us, and I welcome that challenge for all of us. So thank you for that, and we'll, at this point, move on to our International Cartographic Association Awards. This is an important thing for us, recognition, giving people recognition for doing what they do best. It's celebrating our successes, celebrating our people. This is an important thing. We can't leave that behind. We all work hard, but it's important to celebrate now and again, whether it be with a bottle of wine or whether it be with a certificate. It's all meaningful. The highest award from the International Cartographic Association is the Karl Mannerfelt Award, and this is a gold medal. Karl Mannerfelt was one of the founders of the International Cartographic Association back in 1959. And it honors cartographers for outstanding merit who've made significant contributions of an original nature to the field of cartography. It's awarded on rare occasions in order to emphasize its distinction. So just to put that into perspective, the last time this award was given was in 2016. The ICA Committee for the Selection of Award Recipients, and Lee Q is on that committee, she's here, makes the recommendations for consideration by the ICA Executive Committee to either accept or endorse or not endorse those recommendations. That's the medal. It is actually a medal, so that's what we have, and we decided to take a little picture of that. Thank you, Thomas. The Carl Mannerfeld Award was awarded to 2 people this year, and I'm going to need that description. So the first was Ulrich Freitag, and we gave this award in Florence at the 30th International Cartographic Conference in Florence, Italy in December of 2021. We met there physically. We had a hybrid conference, highly successful. Ulrich just celebrated his 90th birthday and arrived ready to go to accept the award. So it was really quite a special event. And he's been to at least one other event that we've had since then. He was at the AutoCarto, the equivalent of AutoCarto, in September of this year. So he's still as excited as ever and still working as productively as ever. And of course, the second award for the Mannerfeld Award is to Alan McEachran, who is here. And we are going to present this award to him in recognition of the great work that he's done. Okay. Thomas, can you join me up here? And Alan, can you come forward? This is Alan McEachran, for those of you who don't know.
You can tell I'm retired. I'm wearing the same clothes.
Humor is really important, isn't it? We asked that for each recipient of any award in the ICA, we would do a little write-up of them, and I'm going to read what Menno Jan Kroc has written on behalf of Alan McEachran's celebration. Dr. Alan McEachran is a professor of geography and affiliate professor of information science and technology at Penn State University. He's a founding director of the Penn State GeoVista Center, one of the premier research and design laboratories in cartography, geovisualization, and GI science in the United States. Alan is an internationally recognized leader in these areas, pioneering methods to interact and collaborate in real-time exploratory analysis and visualizations of geographic data. His early research in geographic representation and geovisualization coincided with the rise of visualization in the scientific community. Since the 1980s, he has helped guide the national and international development of geographic visualization within cartography and GI science to its current form as geovisual analytics, defined as the science of analytical reasoning facilitated by interactive geovisual interfaces. McEachran's book, How Maps Work, published in 1995, established a new cognitive semiotic basis for geographic visualization and cartography, providing a guiding theoretical foundation for cartography. At the same time, the discipline and profession were transitioning to interactive, online, and mobile media. His theoretical contributions to cartography remain central to contemporary scholarship in our discipline, and How Maps Work ranks among the most cited cartographic research texts to date. Alan was elected as a fellow of the American Association for Advancement of Science, the AAAS, in 2013, among the highest distinctions for a research scientist from any discipline made in the United States. Alan's contributions to the International Cartographic Association span more than a quarter century. In 1993, under his leadership, a visualization subgroup within the ICA Commission on Map and Spatial Data Use was formed. In 1995, a proposal for forming the ICA Commission on Visualization was ratified, and Alan became its chair. In 1999, the commission was renamed the Commission on Visualization and Virtual Environments, which he co-chaired with Menno Jan Kroc, former president, immediate past president of ICA, from 1995 to 2005. He has participated in nearly every ICC since 1989, and he has funded his students also to participate in these events and more broadly in other ICA activities as well. For example, as members and chairs of ICA commissions. The intellectual output from Alan McEachran's participation in ICA commissions is immense. Alan was able to bring together a range of international scholars and students to set the agenda for geovisualization and geovisual analytics. In an edited volume, Visualization in Modern Cartography, the Cartography Cube was introduced as an organizing framework of newly possible map uses in a digital environment. In 2001, in a special CAGIS issue on research agenda in geovisualization, possibilities for cartographic research in the 21st century were set out. Finally, Alan McEachran co-edited the volume Exploring Geovisualization in 2005, organizing 78 international scholars to address for the first time many of the research gaps identified in the 2001 CAGIS special issue. The impact of McEachran's team building efforts through these collaborative projects on the ICA community and cartography broadly cannot be overstated. Dr. McEachran was named an honorary fellow of the ICA in 2005, but the scope and the impact of his scientific contributions to cartography and GI science bring the ICA to award him the most coveted Mannerfelt Medal. Congratulations, Alan. This is that medal that I showed a nice big picture of. And there you go, Alan. Congratulations.
And it comes with a certificate as well.
And here's the certificate.
Thank you.
There we go. Congratulations.
Thank you. And I'm not going to take time. That was a long speech. And for those who want to hear my acceptance, which was given virtually back in December of last year, it's still online on the ICA website. So enjoy that. And I thank Thomas and Tim for being here to give it to me in person today. Thanks.
Thank you, Alan.